Hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. After yesterday's two big part heartbreaking result against Chelsea, being at 1-1 against 10 men. Also, on top of all that, with Saliba news that he got a knock in the training. Let's be real. Nobody knows the extent of it besides Arsenal, I would assume so. There is a big uncertainty for how long he could be out for. He could be back in few days. Few days, to be honest, till Wednesday is not enough. Let's be real. At the same time, it could be also longer. That is the biggest issue here. We don't know. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm not gonna lie, I am worried. I'm definitely worried because against Chelsea, it was only the third, fourth, whatever the time. Literally, you can count the amount of one hand's fingers. When Arsenal have started a game without Gabriel and or Saliba, which is definitely a worry. Yesterday, for the first time, we saw a pairing of Hincapié and Mosquera full extent in a massive game. It wasn't the worst, but also wasn't the best. Let's be real. Hence why the Saliba situation definitely is the biggest uncertainty. Arteta said it himself that he got a knock in the training. There will be scans, there will be medicals today, and so far today, I haven't read or seen anything regarding that. Absolutely nada. Nothing. Zilch. Absolutely nothing. So that for me is a big worry why it is so delayed. Whether Arteta is playing cards close to his chest, given the fact that he might actually start on Wednesday against Brentford or not, obviously remains to be seen. But despite all that, at the moment, to some extent, we must assume that he is out. We must assume that because anything besides that is a dub. Let's be real. For me, that is the realistic scenario. We must operate, at least I am operating on the fact that Saliba is out. And we're going to see Mosquera Hincapié once again as a center-back pairing. Let's just put it that way. And the big questions now rise. Should Arsenal be worried for the next games? Because at the moment, the games we have in the schedule for Arsenal to the end of the year are actually very kind. Yes, we have Villa away. But besides that, we have actually games that we should... Pretty much every single game, like even with Villa away and Villa at home, by the way, before the end of the year, we have games that we should be winning. We should be getting 3 points pretty much in every single one of them. Yes, we can maybe draw one or two here or there, but ultimately, we should be winning every single one. There are no excuses not to win against Wolves, against Brentford, against Everton, against teams like that. So the big questions arise. Should we be worried? Because yes, this game was the first game for Arsenal where they were actually under a big pressure, a massive pressure for the first time this season. And we all saw how that went, which wasn't great. It definitely was not great. And if we look at the previous history in the games when Arsenal are under the pressure, it also has not been great whatsoever, to say the least. So the question still rises. Should Arsenal be worried? How is this going to impact us? And where is this going to lead us? Because, yes, Gyökeres and Jesus could be back. Havertz could be back. There are lots of these talks that they could start. They will be on the bench. Odegaard is back, apparently, and all this stuff, which is positive news in terms of squad depth and squad rotation, without shadow of a doubt. But at the same time, it still raises some questions how Arteta is going to rotate them. Will he rotate them? To be honest, to a very big extent, because there are also questions to be asked about the questions about rotation, questions about tactics, and questions about everything that revolves around Arsenal. So today on the stream, we're going to talk about all that and some other bits and bobs here or there. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to leave your thoughts down the live chat so we can tackle them and we can discuss them. And let's get into it. Big up Mubarak, big up. Well, I think Arsenal don't be worrying, I believe, in few days Saliba to be available. That is the thing. But few days is not enough. Like few days, yes, we can survive a game against Brentford. And after that, again, it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. Big up, Marlon. Hope you're doing well. There's a big possibility Odegaard is going to start as is going to be left wing. Big possibility, especially now with Trossard's injury. Well, the cards are there. The situation has presented itself for Odegaard to start and Isak going left wing. Let's be real. Let's not gloss over that fact. And of course, looking at Igor Thiago and Brentford in general, we cannot underestimate them. But at the end of the day, Arsenal in a position that we should be beating teams like that. To some extent, with our eyes closed, if we are as good as people want us to believe we are, if we are going for the league, we are about to win the title and everything that people are saying, we should be beating them. So it will be very, 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 very interesting. Few days ain't no way enough and don't... Yeah, exactly. Igor Thiago will be an interesting one, how we deal with Igor Thiago, especially with Hincapié and Mosquera. It will be also interesting to see how they look when they actually get some run of games, when they get into match fitness, match regime, let's just put it that way, the mindset, the focus, it's all going to be there. It will be very, very, very interesting. Because so far we have seen mostly Gabriel and Saliba, let's be real. And Mosquera and Hincapié have played to a certain extent just backup dancer roles. Maybe Mosquera has played a bit more of a main role, especially against Liverpool and teams like that. But overall, yeah, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Big up hyper protagonists. Hope you're doing well. They always easily break through. Yeah, that is the thing. They always easily break through. But that was the time when they had Wissa, when they had Mbuemo, when they had players like that. Obviously, they have Shade, they have Igor Thiago, they have players like that. We cannot underestimate them. But we should be beating Brentford without shadow of a doubt. We should be beating them light work. It should be light work. But again, it could disappear like that. That is the biggest thing here. So we'll see how everything's going to unfold and everything. But yeah, it's going to be... but it's going to be very interesting to see how Arsenal operate things, how Arsenal go about these things. Go 8-2-0 and put... Nah, relax with that. Relax with that, 100% relax with that. It's not that bad. Definitely not that bad. But yeah, Arsenal's schedule, if we look at it in general, it is a bit of a worrisome one, isn't it? Like, there definitely are some banana peels, which I have my eye on, and I don't know what to expect. Let's just put it that way, because we have to play Brentford at home, right? On Wednesday. It's a late kickoff, which means I won't be live, I won't be streaming, and all this stuff. You all know the business. You know how these things go. Yeah. I don't even know. It's going to be a tough one. Villa away, we all know that Emery does well against us. It's an early kickoff as well on Saturday, which is going to be very interesting to see how Arsenal respond to that. Obviously, but yeah, Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, Aston Villa at Villa Park against Emery. Emery knows how to play against Arsenal, and that is the biggest thing here. No matter what team Arsenal have had over the years, Emery knows how to play against us. Yes, we have beaten them. We have gotten results against them, but so has Emery. And to some extent, even last season, just due to sheer brilliance from David Raya, just from sheer that football gods basically were looking over us. When Watkins misses empty nets and stuff like that, we basically got past them. So definitely we cannot exclude this. And Villa definitely are a tough cookie to crack. They had a very slow start the season, but again, they have kicked into gear, and they are definitely worrying. Let's be real, because Aston Villa currently are fourth in the table. Let's not forget about that, people. Aston Villa are currently sitting fourth in the table. And the nuts part is they are only 6 points behind us. Only 6. So if we manage somehow, by some weird reason, drop points against them, God forbid lose, they can close the gap. Like, it's not that big of a stretch. They are not that far off. Chelsea are waiting to capitalize. Man City, obviously, they're circling. The Sharks are circling. They are ready to capitalize. Like, the league, as much as it seems that Arsenal are on top, which we are, obviously, we are 5 points clear of City, 6 of Chelsea and Villa, and stuff like that. We are not that far off. 1-2 bad results going Arsenal's way. Other teams get favorable results as Arsenal are dropping off. Bang. It's all done and dusted. We are all on equal terms, pretty much. We cannot definitely overlook these instances. We need to talk about this, because people say, oh, we're going to light work. We are 5 points clear. No need to worry about anything. We need to worry about this stuff, because we have seen Arsenal leading by 8 points. We have seen Arsenal chasing, And we have seen Arsenal not coming on top of that, on top of the Man City team at the time, in any of those occasions. Last year, arguably in the last 3 years, we have had the worst season because we were nowhere near to winning the league. Nowhere near with no shot. And that is a big, big worry at the moment if you look at these things. It definitely is a big worry, but obviously the signs are there. We are playing not great, but we are getting the job done, and that's at the end of the day what counts. Arteta tends to get the things right most of the time, and unfortunately he gets them wrong when it matters the most, which is the biggest drawback to all of this stuff. We tend to beat these teams when, well, it's light work, when there's no pressure, where there is nothing that substantial. But as soon as there is something on the line, and something massive on the line, I'm not talking about 3 points on the line because they are on the line every single game. I'm more talking about if we lose, the team capitalizes. We are on equal terms. If we lose, if we draw, other team closes the gap. If we win, we can win the league. If we lose, we can lose the league. When it comes to these type of situations, we tend to drop points. We tend to crumble. We tend to disappear. And that is a big worry for me personally. That is a big, 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 big worry. We are looking at it from that point of view. Let's be real, people. But yeah, obviously after that we have Club Brugge away, which I definitely expect to be a very tough game. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be light work. Club Brugge at home are a very tough cookie to crack. Wolves at home should be a win. Wolves are just not it. Let's be real. Wolves are definitely not it. And again, Saturday, 10 p.m. kickoff. I'm not streaming that day. I'm going to do a video on that day. A lot of games at 10 p.m. my time, which means I'm not going to be live. On 20th of December, Arsenal again, 10 p.m., 8 p.m. UK time. Yeah, against Everton away at Goodison, it's going to be rough. Obviously, before Christmas, we play Crystal Palace. Technically speaking, till the end of the year, till December 30th, Arsenal should be winning every single game. Brentford, Villa, Club Brugge, Wolves, Everton, Palace, Brighton, and Aston Villa once again. But we all know that football does not work that way. Unfortunately, football does not work that way, which is a big, big, big issue here. Like, if we were a team that were blitzing other teams, if we were playing with like 10 man and all this stuff, destroying them, I would be quite relaxed. Let's just put it that way. If we were in a situation where we can actually get the job done on a consistent basis, I would be relaxed. I'm not going to lie to you. But at the moment, it's definitely not it. Definitely not it. There are some questions. There are some worries. And they are big ones. They are big ones, to say the least. And I'm not just talking about injuries. I'm not talking about Saliba just being injured. I'm talking more about tactics, about how we present ourselves on the pitch sometimes and how we play. Obviously, with some players coming back, there will be more rotations. You would expect that. We will have better bench for the subs, which is also great at the end of the day. Let's be real. At the same time, questions are still going to be asked and questions are still going to be left for the answer. We need to start Vangueri in this match against Marlon means Brentford here and give Dalman some minutes and start Madueke and put Vangueri left wing. We could try that. We could definitely try that. But the thing is, we just dropped points against 10-man Chelsea. Arteta definitely will want to vindicate and avenge the points drop. So it might be a tough one. He might actually go full out. Big up Oaxaca. Big up Ryan. Hope everyone's doing well. Like and subscribe, people, if you haven't already. Big up AFC always, bro. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad to see you in the chat. I'm glad to see you everywhere in everyone's chat after everything that has happened in the last month or so. Happy that you are okay. We don't have many tactical flaws, but mentality lapses are there in key moments. Yes, exactly. Key games, key moments. And we just like a team waiting for the title to fall in our lap instead of seizing the initiative. Yeah, basically. That's what it feels like. And this is basically something very similar, what separates basically the winners from the people that whine all the time. Because whiners just expect everything to happen from themselves, for itself. Winners go, they tug up their arm sleeves, and they get the job done. And sometimes it feels like that. But we cannot discredit the mental aspect of the games, because that definitely for Arsenal has been one of the big issues over the years. That when going gets tough, when there's the biggest responsibility at times for the games, Arsenal tend to drop points. Happened against Liverpool, this season happened against Liverpool, against City, against Sunderland, and now it happened against Chelsea. Before that, it happened against Aston Villa, It happened against Villa again. It happened against Fulham. It happened against Man City. It happened against Brighton. Like the games when we should have finished fourth and we finished fifth and everything. Every single season, you can pick out those key moments when Arsenal have been under substantial amount of pressure and we have just crumbled at the end of the day. Cowardly manager get cowardly results. Also, the first half of that game was an absolute disgrace, to say the least. Yes, absolutely, yeah. We need to get rid of the give-up mentality. We need to, but that's the biggest thing. I have not given up in those types of situations, but it feels like the team has this mental block which they cannot get over. And that is the biggest thing. For me, the biggest issue here is that this team are not winners because they have not won anything as a collective. Individually, yes, Havertz has won stuff. Jesus has won stuff. Who else? Zubimendi, Merino, all these guys, they have won stuff individually. But as a collective unit, as a team, they have not won stuff. Neither they have lost the final. So they don't know what it feels like to win a final, to get a trophy, and they don't know what it feels like to lose that final. So they don't know sometimes how to react, what to do. Maybe sometimes the occasion gets to them. Something feels off. Something definitely feels off in these regards about these situations. And it's not just once, it's multiple occasions. It goes around in circles and it happens again, again, and again. It's like Darwin's theory of evolution. It goes all in a circle and it tends to repeat itself. And that's what it feels like it's happening to Arsenal every single season. Moving forward, Saka needs to have a Dembele-type season. For me, Saka needs to be dropped for the Brentford game. Yeah, I would love to see Saka getting dropped for the Brentford game. Start, what's its face? Madueke, Ranieri, and everything. Let's see. I'm really excited about the two Ecuadorian players we've signed that they had already played, like Hincapié, Caicedo, Pacho. Yeah, true. And since we are on this right now, right, we can look at this. We definitely can look at this, right? Arsenal have signed two Ecuadorian twins. They have signed twins, first of all. They have signed twins. Edwin and Holger Quintero from Independiente del Valle. Independiente is actually a very decent side. Obviously, Ecuadorian side and all this stuff, but very decent side. I'm not going to lie. Very decent side. When they turn 18 in 2027, they're going to join Arsenal. It's the Hincapié attacks probably and stuff like that. I would expect that. But it's very nice to see Arsenal, for a change, go deep and dive into South American market. Because that is one of those things that you don't see Arsenal do that often these days. We mostly sign players from Europe. Mostly. Right? We don't sign African players. We sign African descents, but we don't sign actually African players. Let's be real. And we don't sign South American players. Let's be real. Like, yeah, we have signed Jesus, we have signed Gabriel. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, we don't sign many of them. And that all is happening under Mikel Arteta. Let's be real. Because Arteta, I don't know what Arteta has against French guys, first of all. But since Arteta has been here, he hasn't signed a single French player. Which is very, very weird, because you could definitely put a very strong argument that the French have the best young talents in the world right now, to a certain degree. The amount of talent that France has, they can field out, I would say, 2-3 proper 11s plus a bench. And all of those teams, worst case scenario, are getting out of the group stage. And they could fight for something. Quarterfinals, round of 16, they will fight for everything. Because they are that good. Which is very weird for me. I have no idea who they are. I know the club. I know how they play. I know what they have done. Besides that, I have no idea of the players. Genuinely. If anyone has any scouting, any idea of who these players are, please let me know. I said on previous stream to sign some players from South America. Let's go. Exactly. Arsenal have had only 2 Argentinian players in their history at the club, by the way. Emi Martinez and another guy in late 90s, early 2000s. 2 Argentinian players. That's it. Seriously. Obviously, we talk Chilean players, it's Alexis Sanchez. We don't deep dive in young talents and stuff like that almost at all what it feels like for the youth players in South American market. And same goes for Africa as well, African market. The nuts part is that under Nelson Vivas, big up Mike. Nelson Vivas. I always forget that name. I know it's a Nelson something, but I don't want to make myself look like a fool. It's Nelson Vivas, big up Mike. But yeah, that's the big thing. Because over the years, over the last 10, 15 years, in the transfer window, constantly, you can read that Arsenal are scouting someone in Brazil. Arsenal are deep diving in that market. We got Martinelli from the second league and all this stuff and blah, 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 signed Marquinhos and stuff like that. But we were scouting Igor Thiago. We were scouting Savio, that who plays for Man City right now. We were scouting all of those players when they were young talents in Brazil. At the end of the day, we never got them. Why? That you have to ask to Edu, to the scouting department, to the club itself at the end of the day. But right now, looking at that, Arsenal are signing 2 Ecuadorians, which is nice. Might coincide, obviously, with Hincapie being at the club, another Ecuadorian. It's very nice because that is something I want Arsenal to see. Just like we don't travel for preseason to South America, to Africa, to places like that, we don't also scout there, which for me has been the biggest worry because somehow, goddamn Donetsk Shakhtar, Porto, Benfica, all these teams can find phenomenal players from South America. Somehow. Arsenal can never. Arsenal is one of those teams that you pretty much never see, let's be real. Young talents from Brazil or Argentina, because they mostly go to Spain, first of all, or some random ones just go to, obviously, Portugal, or to Donetsk Shakhtar for somehow as well. Because if you look at Donetsk Shakhtar's history with Brazilian talent they have had over the years, it is actually mind-blowing what type of players they have gotten and they have sold for insane types of money. Let's be real. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And we get a couple of more of these types of players that will help us financially and maybe get a superstar. Yes, exactly. Step by step, invest in these guys. Sign them up. If they don't work out, let them go. Why not? Sell them. What happens? But give them a chance. Slowly but steadily. Go into the South American market. Let's be real. Big up, gamer. Big up. Surely we give you, with even that. Sorry. How you doing? Surely we give you. Yeah, it was a tough fight. And big up to you. Big up to you for doing what you have done. What you did against us. Big up to you. It was a tough game. It was a rough game. Arsenal absolutely balled it, in my opinion. They should have done everything to win the game, but it felt like they could not care less. The issue with that is obviously the reasons why are many of those. Many reasons. And mostly for me, it's obviously the game fatigue, the emotional drain, the tiredness. I know I'm sounding like a top Gooner with the excuses, but that's what it is at the end of the day. We yielded the same 11 every single game. And at some point, it had to take a toll. 3 massive games against Spurs, against Bayern Munich, against Chelsea. It had to take a toll at some point. Because if you would have told me before these 3 games that after all these 3 games, we could have gone 2 wins and a draw, 9 times out of 10, I would have taken that in a heartbeat, expecting that the draw would be against Bayern Munich, right? But looking that we get a draw against Chelsea and the way it happened, I cannot help but think that we dropped 2 points. Let's be real. What positions they play? Let's check. Edwin Quintero. Edwin Quintero is a right winger. And Holger Quintero is a number 10. They are right wing number 10. They are forwards, basically. Basically, that's who they are. And African countries too. Yeah, we don't scout in Cameroon, in Nigeria, given that how many African descents there are in England in general, how many they play, how many they switch allegiances, and they cannot get into England national team, and all this stuff. It's actually kind of nuts. Let's be real. Would take Igor Thiago as Gyökeres back. I would have taken Igor Thiago, Savio, and all these, man. Let's be real. If we get a little Cubs, exactly. I hope that time Arteta is. If there was not a red card, we should. There is a big argument for that. Big argument for that, given the fact that we did nothing in that game. Let's be real. We did absolutely nothing. Pretty much. It was a bore fest, it was a stink fest, and it was genuinely a rough one to watch. And you did great with 10 men to neutralize us at the bridge. Oh, but Arteta hasn't lost in 6 years at the bridge. But last 3 games have been a draw, and this one hurts the most because this was the one that, again, was there for the taking, and we decided that we will totally forget how to play football. Our players literally felt like they were Space Jam. Right? It was the same as it was against Liverpool, against Man City, against Sunderland, and against all these teams. It's Pawn Gaming. Yeah. Pawn Gaming. Yeah, Gamer Boy. I know the YouTube now shows these ads and everything. It's kind of confusing at times. But big up, Pawn. Big up, Bob. Big up, Pawan. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Good morning to you, by the way. Sure, Chelsea had everything to win. Exactly. If Caicedo doesn't get... Yeah. Big up, Cooper. Big up, Cooper. Hope you're doing well today, bro. Can we get a decent left winger? Well, we have Eze going to play there. Looking at the fact that Trossard is injured, we need a left winger. Odegaard is back from injury. Pretty much the puzzle pieces put themselves into place, don't they? Odegaard in the 10, Eze on the left. I'm not shocked if that happens. Won't be shocked whatsoever. Yeah, it's always right wing number 10s, no left wingers. Yeah. Yildiz knows anyone. Yeah, there are lots of them. We just don't get them. At least with Jew. If we lost my friend who is a Barca fan will make fun of me so much because I've made fun of him because they lost 3-0. Yeah, to be honest, he can make fun of you to some extent because let's be real. 10 man, a draw, and everything Arsenal did at fall. Would not blame him. Yeah. Yep. Big up, Everest. Long time no see, brother. Long time no see. Hope the studies, the job, everything is going well with you, my guy. Hope also you are safe because I know in the recent times there have been some natural disasters. Let's just put it that way. Hope everything is well with you, my guy. Big up to you. And I'm very sorry for Liverpool as well. By the way, people, if you didn't know, Everest is a Liverpool fan. So, yeah. Joining here from night shift. I hope you. I'm doing well. We'll look and listen while we get some shit done at the office. Big up to you. Big up to you. Have a good work night. Let's just put it that way. To be honest, working at nights, it's very, very interesting. I have done night jobs. I have done everything pretty much. 12-hour shifts through day, through night, and all this stuff. I have worked 2 jobs where I have to work day shift 8 hours, then I literally come home, eat, and then I instantly go to a night shift 12-hour job and everything. If you are a night person, the night jobs are just fantastic. Yeah, that you say that, but you know we're talking about Mikel here, right? No one wants to see here. Yeah, but Mikel does. The long-lost child. It's one of those shit slows down. Well, we don't even scout in Germany, France, and Italy. Well, we have signed Calafiori. Havertz. But yeah, that's the thing. We don't scout in these places. Maybe with Andrea Berta and Micheli now, who Berta just signed, maybe we will see some young Italian prospects, Serie A talent coming to Arsenal, potentially. That is the hope for me personally. I'm just going to put it out there. For Germany, I have no idea what's happening there. For France, I think Arteta literally has an agenda against French players because he's been charged in 18 days. In 18 days, Arteta officially will be at Arsenal's job for 6 years. And he will have not signed a single French player to this club. A single one. Single one. Like, take that for what you will. Hence why when the transfer window opens and we get linked with all these French players that look like the best things since sliced bread pretty much, I don't get too gassed because we haven't signed a single French player under Mikel Arteta. What he has against them, I have no goddamn idea. My Liverpool is truly, yeah, it is. This season, it's rough for you. But some Liverpool fans are saying Isak just scored a goal, first goal for Liverpool. You are back. Go figure. I know Eze was crap yesterday, but Odegaard did nothing when he came on. Odegaard should have seen his spot back. We haven't missed him. True, to some extent, true. The thing is with Odegaard, when he came on, at least he looked lively compared to when he starts the game. There was some directness, some. He tried. Let's just put it that way. He tried. He got a participation trophy, for lack of a better word. But Odegaard actually did better than Eze, ironically. Whether it's getting colder, so doing night shift has become troublesome now. Otherwise, job is... Wait, you're in office job. Don't you have, like, heating? Although, saying that, I realize my error of words given where you're from. But, hey, I just have to ask. You don't have anything, air conditioning, heating, anything at work? You just work in a fridge at the end of the day. Shouldn't even need him, Jerry. Didn't he fail at PSG? Maybe he has some French anger towards the French. Wait, hold on. Arteta at PSG. Arteta at PSG. Arteta played 53 games for Paris Saint-Germain. 5 goals, 3 assists, 11 yellows. He played 4 games in Champions League for PSG, assisted once. And that I think he won Ligue 1, didn't he? Didn't he won Ligue 1 with PSG? Or am I tripping here? Coupe de France as well. I think he won something at PSG. I think. But I might be tripping here. Let me check. Scottish. Hold on. Scottish. Ooh. Yeah, he won the UI Cup with PSG. He won 1 trophy at PSG. UI Cup winner. That's all he did at PSG. He was crap line. Like, that's the nuts part. Arteta is very similar as a manager as he was as a player. Basically. And that is the sad part in this. That is the sad part in this. Now, I want to look at something because people, I know you love these things. I know you love these things, so I have to share this. I just need to ask. We only have air cooler, no air conditioner. Plus night shift is for me mostly visiting the whole factory, so I roam around outside more than sitting inside. In some way it's comfy, but now, yeah, I get it. As it gets colder, roaming outside, it definitely is colder than you would want to be. Let's just put it that way, for lack of a better word. But it's like a night guard, pretty much, isn't it? But that's what it feels like. Like, let's just put it that way. Anyways, let's look at this. Was Arteta bad? I wasn't a football fan when he played. Well, Arteta was... Let's just put it that way. Arsenal signed Mikel Arteta as a Cesc Fabregas replacement. And we have seen how that has gone. That's all you need to know. I worked as a surgical first assistant in operating room for 30 years, taking time off to heal from my 2 ankle surgeries this year. I've worked every shift and did multiple shifts. Yeah, it is a grind. It is definitely a grind, especially if you are in a medical field and stuff like that. It's definitely rough. Hope you're feeling better. Hope everything's good. The healing, the recovery is going fantastically well for you. Just be careful so you then get rushed back like Mikel Arteta does it. But overall, yeah. Hopefully you feel better soon. But yeah, medical field definitely, like all the main fields, like police, medical field, fire department, all these stuff that are basically 24/7 work, right? Those are a grind and a half, to say the least. Where is it? Here we go. Mikel Arteta has spoken on Declan Rice, right? I hope Declan wins the Ballon d'Or. That would mean we won a lot as a team. Normally, it's tied to that. He was immense the other day. I think he's been immense since start of the season. And he's an incredible and crucial player for us. So let's be real. The only way Declan Rice would be within a shot of a Ballon d'Or is if Arsenal win Champions League and Premier League, and hopefully England wins something as well, or gets at least to a final. Those are the only ways Declan Rice can win a Ballon d'Or, because I don't believe that Declan Rice is going to win Ballon d'Or by finishing second or getting to a semi-final. That is not happening at all. No way, shape, or form. Let's be real. If Arteta wants and hopes that Declan Rice wins a Ballon d'Or, you better win some stuff, man. And I don't mean FA Cup, Carabao Cup, because those won't be enough. You need to win the majors, bro. So no excuses, no nothing. None of this wannabe stuff. No excuses, no nothing. I have to ask, Pawan, are you here? Pawan Gaming, are you still here? Because I have to ask you this. Genuinely have to ask you this, because this is a worry for me. I'm not gonna lie. Night shift for me is to record the number of manpower at night, production units, generator power, storage quantity, or so on. I gotta visit, check whether people aren't sleeping on the job. Dude, trust me, if you are on night shift and you can get you can get in some Z's, and you are not getting caught, even better. To be fair, some people sleep even on the job during the day, so go figure. Go absolutely figure. Rodrigo Mendoza is decent. He's decent on the ball with the abilities he has. He's very, very decent. Very decent. But if I'm not mistaken, he's a midfielder, a number 8. Number 8, number 10, something like that, what it feels like more. Something like that, definitely what it feels like. Rice is the motor of our team. As he goes, we go. Arteta never takes him off, ever. I'm terrified Rice will get cut. Arteta takes him off on occasion, but for me personally, Declan Rice, if he goes down and he is out for a substantial amount of time, we are good. There's no way and shape or form to mask it, deny it, hide it, or whatever. Because as soon as Declan Rice goes down and he's out for 2-3 more weeks, we are done. Because there is nobody in this team who can replace him. Let's be real. Everest Robo bringing friends together, yeah. Lewis Kelly should be the Rice backup, true. Yeah, he should. Skelly is a 6/8, 8/6, or however you look at it. He definitely is one of those. Big up, Camden. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And since you have mentioned Skelly, right? I know this is some BS, most likely. But hey, go figure. Go figure. Chelsea are ready to try and convince Miles Lewis-Skelly to make controversial move away from Arsenal. Go figure. They believe they can offer him more playing time with minutes in the midfield rather than just cover at left back for Marco Correa. He's currently being used at Arsenal at left back only. Now, I'm not saying anything because personally I don't give a crap whether this story is true or not. The issue with this is, if you take away Chelsea, just the name Chelsea out of this statement, it's nothing but facts, is it? Because Skelly plays at Arsenal only at left back. He doesn't get game time behind the sweet Prince, Italian Zucchini, and all this stuff. And he is a midfielder. He played midfield in the youth academy. And if there is a possibility of him to play in the midfield, I would not be surprised if he is tempted to leave given the lack of game time he is receiving right now. And to add on top of that, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. Big up, Camden. Big up. Don't play with me, Chelsea, dude. Like, it's actually nuts. Skelly's our academy player, our star boy, our future once Arteta gets binned. Yeah. So was Hutchinson and all these players. And we have seen how that has gone. Like in football, there is no loyalty. At the end of the day, in football, there is no loyalty. People, players do what's best for them. These days, at least. You don't get players like Iniesta, Xavi, Totti, Gerrard, De Rossi, and all these guys who stay at one club for whole career, pretty much. You don't get those. People do what's best for them, for their future, for their families, the current, for moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, and their future family, their misses, the future children, and even children of the children, grandchildren. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if Miles Lewis Skelly, just like Ethan Wanyeri, by the way, if they don't get enough game time, if they get hold marinated on the bench, some loan requests, or even worse, transfer requests may surface from certain players. And they won't give two flying Fs that they have just signed a new deal. Because they became footballers to play football, not warm the bench, or being used and abused when it's convenient for Mikel Arteta. So, yeah, exactly. What player would you sell right now who's big for our squad, not 29 if you had to? Well, Havertz, Jesus, Odegaard, Merino. Who else is there? Bentan, Benny Blanco. Those are some players I would be open to selling. Martinelli, given we can sign and get proper replacements and improvements. That has to be in there. Because if we do this not place where we basically sell, let's just say, I don't know, Ben White, and we get a midfielder who can technically play right back, I don't want any of that. Hell no, get Arteta out already. I can't. That's the biggest worry. Like, I would not be surprised if certain things start to come in at some points. Would not be surprised. And there are some other news regarding Arsenal, by the way. There are some more news regarding Arsenal. Where is it? If I can just quickly find it. If I can quickly find it. Give me a sec. Here we go. Apparently, Kai Havertz is coming back soon. Apparently. The understanding of journalist Chris Wheatley, who shared that Havertz's potential comeback is penciled in, by the way, not penned in, not marked in, but penciled in, for either Brentford or Aston Villa. The donkey is coming back to the club. Sorry for saying donkey, that is kind of disrespectful to be honest, but yeah, Havertz could be back soon. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, it looks that way. That there are talks that Havertz could be back very, very soon. Given that Gyökeres is already back, Odegaard is already back, Jesus should be back very, very soon, and it looks like also Kai Havertz should be back very, 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 very soon. So Arsenal are getting 3 improvements in the attack, which is actually very nice because we have been missing that, well, let's be real, since the season kicked off. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, you excited that Havertz is coming back or not? That is the other big question. Are you excited that Kai Havertz is almost back? And bringing Vieira, Nelson as bench players to fill the gap and sell Lokonga permanently. Bringing a left wing, backup striker, and a left back who can give Calafiori competition. Hey. You're not happy. Well, that's up to you. I'm happy that they are back. Because no matter how you look at it, whether you like Odegaard or not, whether you like Havertz or not, whether you like Jesus or not, they are an asset to the team. Each of them brings some unique abilities that other players don't possess. right? They are rotational players that if they play, they can give our team specific type of dynamics that have potential to change the game. No matter how you look at it, no matter how good or bad of player you are, because you can see that on every level of sports, whether you play amateur, whether you play semi-pro, whether you play pro. Let's be real, but at the end of the day, did you see the story about Arteta being asked about missing Gabriel and Saliba after the game? Arteta said, we are missing them. And then Arteta said, we haven't had our best striker all season. Well, hey, ho, ho, the Havertz coming back. Hey, ho, ho, and Havertz coming back. Havertz is coming back, and it looks like Arsenal actually could get back their massive trio of players. The power fluff yes men, as we all know them. Starting from the left, Calafiori. In the middle, Odegaard. On the right, Kai Havertz. And of course, the main professor at the back, Mikel Arteta. It looks that way. It genuinely looks that way. Let's just put it like that. But it looks like Arteta is getting back all of his favorite players. It will be very interesting to see how he rotates them, how he utilizes them, and what type of role all of them play. Gyökeres better not get benched for... Yeah, he will. If you had 100 million for winter transfer window, what would you do? I would sign Yildiz. Probably would leave about 20-30 million room to operate. And that means I can actually... I would go for a left back. Sign a left back. A bit younger one, up-and-coming proper left back. Not the one that gallops across the pitch, but the one that basically actually is a left back. Yeah, same. And Eze has held 10. Eze has held 10 possession, but you all know that Trossard is injured. Martinelli did not do that good. Odegaard is back, which means Odegaard goes in the 10, Eze goes to the left, and all this stuff. Havertz is coming back, which means he's going at striker. Hey, ho-ho. Merryman, hey, ho-ho. The Three Musketeers, and all this stuff. It's gonna happen. Just wait for it. You're so right. And that's the nuts part, unfortunately. Big up, Bargav. Hope you're doing well. I think an 8 because Skelly ain't playing. Yeah, Skelly ain't playing. Unless Arteta leaves, Skelly is not seeing that 8 spot at all. If Skelly leaves, Arteta is not seeing that 8 spot at all. So, yeah, most likely, yeah. Why did we lack so much energy? Well, I think our players, we had the same 11 for 3 games straight. In span of 7 days, we played 3 massive games. Whether you want to admit it or not, it was 3 massive games: Spurs, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. 2 home, 1 away. It took a lot from us, emotionally, physically, mentally. Players were just drained so much after those 2 games due to lack of rotation and everything that we just were not on it. We misplaced the simplest of passes. We overhit, underhit. They were not on target. And we didn't show any urgency. I think players just mentally were drained after the North London derby. And that they finally got one over Bayern Munich, who literally was like a thorn in our sides, whether you want to admit it or not, right? And I strongly believe that if we played Chelsea before we played Bayern Munich, the result most likely would have been much different. I'd spend it on the best manager to replace Arteta. So who is that? Who is the best manager to spend on? Let's talk about it. Who's the best manager to spend money on to replace Arteta? Because we don't rotate. Yeah, we should have sacrificed the... We could have gone even a draw against Bayern Munich, and it would not be the worst of things. Let's be real. As I said before, if you told me before the Spurs game, over the next 3 games, so Spurs, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, you will get 2 wins and a draw, I would have taken that 9 times out of 10, provided with expectations, let's just put it that way, that the draw would have happened against Bayern Munich. But unfortunately, it happened in the league. For the given instance, and we talked about this even before Bayern Munich game, that the game against Chelsea actually carried more weight than the game against Bayern Munich. Hence why, personally, I wanted more rotation against Bayern Munich, so we are more refreshed, more energized, more recovered for the Chelsea game. Because that Chelsea game could have set us 7 points clear of City, 9 points clear of Chelsea, and it would be in a completely different situation. One draw or even a loss to Bayern Munich in Champions League at the moment means nothing. It doesn't matter if we win even all the games in the league group stage. It absolutely means jack shit. We saw that from Liverpool last year. Let's be real. As long as you get in that top 8, you don't have to play round of 32 or round of 16. Sorry, round of 16, you're golden. Carl terrorized that thing. Yeah, Carl was decent. I'd take Luis Enrique. I would take Luis Enrique as well. Luis Enrique wins the game yesterday without shadow of doubt. The thing is, though, I'm reading already reports saying that if Arne Slot is sacked by Liverpool, Liverpool are looking at Luis Enrique as his replacement. And that already is making me worried. Let's just put it that way. It already is making me worried. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you want this to happen by January, Arsenal must lose against Brugge, and Arsenal needs to lose every single game until the end of the year. And that is never, ever, ever going to happen. We have too good of a squad to do that, first of all. And second of all, looking at our fixture list till the end of the year, we should be winning all of those games. So that goes without saying. Anybody seen Dion? Nope, none whatsoever. I'm not gonna lie. He will make y'all. Any other suggestions to replace Mikel Arteta while we are on the topic? Yeah, wait, let me check. Let me check. Let me check quickly. Luis Enrique has made the feeling Enrique is linked with Liverpool. Enrique has been linked with Liverpool role if Arne Slot is sacked. Right? Blah, blah, blah. Then along to target Luis Enrique, will guide the French, blah, blah, blah. The Spaniard apparently said that he only on the. And let's be real, Enrique in 2013 said himself that he would love to coach in Premier League one day. So that is definitely, absolutely would happen. It would depend on the team and the football they played, says Luis Enrique, which is a bit of a worry, let's just put it that way. But yeah, I think Luis Enrique, yeah, it is being looked like that. Zidane is taking over from Didier Deschamps after 2026 World Cup, the French national team job. That's where Zidane is going. It's already confirmed, by the way. Zizou is going to be the Spanish national team manager. French national team manager. Nagelsmann is German national team manager. So unless he gets sacked, it's not going to happen either. Klopp said himself he's never going to coach another team in Premier League besides Liverpool. Best case scenario, he returns to Liverpool for a last hurrah for a season or two. Sean Dyche. Oh, come on, Cooper. Let's be real. Sean Dyche might as well then take Big Sam, Big Sam and stuff like that. Great job for Zidane, exactly. Glasgow or Regis Lebris. No, let's check this. Because Is that Sunderland manager? Okay. So Hendon wants either Crystal Palace or the Sunderland manager. Glasner, like for me with Glasner, the nuts part is that Glasner is gonna get a better job than Crystal Palace. But I don't expect it to be Arsenal. I don't expect it to be Arsenal whatsoever. Let's be real. And who he's going to get, I don't know, but it's definitely not going to be Arsenal, unfortunately. I would say Glasner at Arsenal, give him 2 years, see what sticks. Regis Lebris, not proven enough. I need more proven manager. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Glasner is really, really good, especially in cup competitions. He's fantastic, to say the least. Inzaghi would be an interesting one. His contract runs out in a year or in a bit in Al Hilal, sorry. But at the moment, Inzaghi is on 26 goddamn million a year. So buying out his contract will be pretty much a rough one for Arsenal, knowing Kroenkes. If we were serious, he would do it, but hey. And after that, he might demand the same amount of money. So Arsenal are not definitely paying him that based on no merits. Then again, he has won more than Mikel Arteta, so he has a strong argument to be paid that. Let's just put it that way. Conte is still coaching Napoli, so we'll see how that's gonna go. Latvian. And for Gooner SC, if you say this, it means good evening in the chat. Oh, they want, yeah. What? Nah, Saudi don't even want them. They had interest in what's its face, in Martinelli, but it doesn't look like they're gonna come back for him, at least for now. We can scam Saudi and make them buy them. Yeah, sure. Because Saudis are that dumb. It's not gonna happen. Definitely not gonna happen. Let's just put it that way. They're not gonna tell me. But yeah, people, it's actually kind of nuts when you think about it, when you look at things. Like in a real scenario where we could get a new manager, 9 times out of 10, we will have to buy out a manager out of his contract, which and many teams have done before. Unfortunately, it's not like how Arsenal operate. I don't see that happening. I don't see how Arsenal would do that. Because Kroenkes don't strike me as the people who would do that. Then again, we have Andrea Berta now, so he definitely strikes me like a person who would go there with his squad from Italy and say, "Yo, you come with me," and no one gets hurt and stuff like that. And it would happen. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, at the end of the day, Latvian Cooper. Hope you're doing well. I hope everything's fine with you. But yeah, I don't know where to go from this, where to sit with this. It's actually kind of nuts. Genuinely kind of nuts. But yeah, I'm even like, I don't know. At the moment, I'm just sitting here with Arteta. I'm not that. Basically, it has come to a point where it has to run its course, right? Arteta's tenure at Arsenal must run its course, right? The end of the course, you would expect this at the end of this season. So you definitely would be just sitting here patiently and just waiting for it and to see what's going to happen at the end of the day. So there are no ins, whats, buts about it, unless something insane happens. Unless Arsenal go on like 10-game losing streak or something weird like that, There not going to be a change. Arteta is going to stay till the end of the season at least. And after that, Kroenkes, Bertha, and all these men are going to reassess. They're going to look it over and then discuss. Then again, I'm seeing on social media, and I showed this also yesterday, which probably is going to rub the people the wrong way, right? But, yeah, you will see this in a second. About this. About goddamn this. We understand that Andrea Berta has been open with Stan Kroenke on the matter, assuring the Arsenal owner that the talks will take place next year in a bid to avoid distraction of the season with Mikel Arteta. Arteta is currently till 2028. Well, I think it's 2027, but okay. But Arteta has made his intentions way ahead of time. Sources have told that transfer expert Graham Bailey that the sporting director has already discussed new deal with the boss, with it confirmed that the pair will discuss further details in 2026. There are some rumors like that flying around already. Now, it happened during international break, which also could mean it's a yellow page story just to get some clicks. Let's not forget about that one. It could be massive cap. It could be utter BS. Then again, the more it makes sense, the less of a chance that it is not going to concern Arsenal. So the bigger chance this is true, well, no, the bigger chance that this is false, the bigger chance Arsenal are going to do it, because you know how Arsenal tend to operate. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. So this at the moment does not make any sense, which means it most likely is going to happen, isn't it? So yeah, a new deal with Arteta, potentially. It might be a yellow page story, don't forget about that, but it could be in the making. Let's just put it that way. China is out of money. China is out of money. They are not signing anyone. Have you not noticed that in the last, 5 years, nobody's moving to China? Like big players. Hell no, that they cut off here. We'll see. If Arteta wins, he can stay for another year. If Arteta wins Premier League or Champions League, he can stay for another year. If not, well, sayonara. Let's just put it that way. Sayonara, to say the least. But for now, it's actually kind of nuts if you think about it. It's actually kind of nuts. But hey, go figure. It's been great catching you live today. You're one. Big up, Cooper. Thank you for the kind words. Labakar to you. And hopefully your evening is going well. Hopefully your evening is going well. Let's just put it that way. Like, when I stream here, right? And I talk English the whole stream, almost. Let's just put it that way. I sometimes sit here and wonder what would happen if I did a whole stream in my native language. How many people would watch? Seriously. I genuinely believe maybe 2 at best. Like, that is the nuts part. 2 at best. That's nice to hear. You got recovery going well and all this stuff. Spurs ex-coach won Europa League and they still sack him, yeah. But that's Spurs. Arsenal is a different story, isn't it? Oh, don't get me wrong. If he wins stuff and he can go out on a high, as Wenger should have done a few years before, right? All good. But I don't think it's going to happen. Because if Arteta wins Champions League for Arsenal, you bet your sweet ass he's getting a statue outside of Emirates. Like, that is definitely going to happen. That is 100% going to happen. If Arteta wins Premier League, he's going to get something else. I'm just saying that. I need subtitles. Go for it. You'd have to have translation subtitles on, though. Yeah, I should, but I don't know how to set it up. Unless YouTube doesn't have auto translator for my language, so it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. With Cooper would take him. You see, with Unai, that's the nuts thing. If Unai gets the backing, what Arteta did, and even the fan backing that Arteta is getting, he's gonna last. He's gonna win. But since Unai got basically the treatment as the rebound, because let's be real, Arsene Wenger was the long-term relationship. To get over it, you have a rebound. That was Unai Emery, which for you, it doesn't feel right, but you want to get that feeling back you used to have with your ex and all this stuff, so you get into it. But the beer goggles are gone, and everything over a few months, and shit hits the fan, and you break it up. You take a break, you reassess, aka Freddie Ljungberg and all this crap, right? And then you start looking for the next long-term thing, i.e. Mikel Arteta. God knows for how long that's gonna last. Yeah, if you give Emery the same backing from the fans, from the club, from the board, the same money, everything, probably wins more stuff than Arteta, whatever, 100%. Let's just put it that way. Hold on. I need to check something. Oh my goodness gracious. If you watch Serie A, right, he got a lot out of what he was given. True. Europa League final and everything, and not bad. Let's be real. Yeah. But yeah, if you watch Serie A, at the moment, Bologna are playing Cremonese, right? Look at this. Jamie Vardy. Ooh, 1 goal, 2 goals. Jamie Vardy with a brace for Cremonese. Here we go. Jamie Vardy's having a party in Italy today. Woohoo! Jamie Vardy's on fire. Vardy party. If we swap Arteta with Pep Flick on everybody else, we get the... That's the nuts thing. You can say whatever you want to me, and I will tell you this much. Arteta has done some good things at Arsenal. That goes without saying, right? Obviously, given the money and everything, blah, 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 blah. The thing still stands. If you give Pep the team Arsenal got right now, he wins the league. If you give Arteta the City's team, he is not winning the league. That's the nuts part. If you give Arteta the 22-23 team that won the league for City, he's not winning that league, or 23-24. If you give Pep the team we had in 22-23 or 23-24, plus the backing as well, blah, 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 he wins the league in those positions. That is the big difference. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, he's still, probably he has chugged about 50 Red Bulls and he's buzzing like a little bee across the pitch. I love how much faster the tempo of the game in Serie A is. Yeah, the game is definitely faster. For example, La Liga is more technical. I love that. Like, every single league has its advantages. For me personally, the only advantage that Premier League has over other leagues is the money and the sheer velocity and the amount and the size of a player they can attract. Besides that, 9 times out of 10, well, it's crap. Watching the games, it's kind of crap. Let's just put it that way. I'm just gonna say it like that. But hey, I guess it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, people, I think on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream. Hopefully everything was fine with you. Hopefully you enjoyed your stay. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day tomorrow. Enjoy your Tuesday, people. I'm going to be live tomorrow as well, of course, and everything. But for today, I am signing off. So take care, stay safe, and see you very, very, very soon.